Kamen Rider Geats episode 33, the start of a brand new arc. After last week, we saw Buffa eliminating Ace and Nearium, becoming the champion of the Yamato Grand Prix as he finally gets his wish granted of eliminating all Kamen Riders. And in that episode, we see that as Buffa mows down Kamen Riders left, right, and center. And I gotta say, this was a pretty good, solid episode as Buffa's goal came into existence and came into fruition as you see him hunting down Kamen Riders in this episode. We got to see Ben and John transform, although we don't see their rider forms completely. We know what their names are due to the website's information posting, and Ben and John's, their rider forms are called Lancer and Gowden, which both being named after cats, I believe, because they sort of have that cat motif, which is pretty freaking cool. I will say that. It does make sense with Neon being based on a cat that these two other riders would have a jungle cat theme. Now, it is kind of disappointing that these two got jobbed out really quickly. Not only that, they got jobbed out off screen where Buffa just throws them to the side and crushes both their ID cores, so that's a shame that these two characters never had a good chance to shine with them sort of having their rider forms kicking ass and taking names, or at least trying with Buffa's unstoppable power, it seems, as Buffa was able to mow down so many riders in this episode. I mean, he mowed down like several riders in this episode that you see on the screen, and not only that, it shows how desperate they're getting, but I feel like with Buffa mowing down all those riders, Tsurumi's to blame because he's the one that pitches the idea to Tsurumi, saying, hey, if we recruit a bunch of riders, one of them might have a shot at taking out Buffa and stopping this, and that way we can bring the game back to normal. But that doesn't go planned because, like I said, Buffa is able to mow down all these riders, take them out. One of them being a beagle called Kamen Rider Groovy, which, a fun little wink and a nod, that character or that actor was played by Tycoon's suit actor. So not only that, they're also in the ninja outfit, which was pretty cool as well. So I like that little wink and a nod they did in the episode. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, this episode had Buffa sort of mowing down people left, right, and center, and no one really knew what to do until Buffa came to them eventually. But you also get to see Neon getting her memories back, where Bebera sort of makes her touch the ID core. Although that Neon doesn't get involved in the game, she now has her memories back, which is unfortunate because you think that as soon as she touches that ID core, Buffa's going to hunt her down, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, I did say that was unfortunate that Neon got her memories back. That's because when I was watching the episode, I was worried for her safety that she would get her memories back and then Buffa would just hunt her down like right away in the episode. But that didn't seem to be the case as she bumps into Kyun, and Kyun and her have this moment where she remembers everything and she remembers Kyun, and she asks him, hey, why didn't you tell me that this happened? Why didn't you make me remember? And Kyun says, I thought you'd be better off like this. And she replies with, that's not the life I want to live. You know that. Next time something like that happens to me, make me remember again. And I did like that nice little moment. So you've got Jeremy scattering and panicking because Buffa's going to come for him eventually as they're running out of ideas because they had several riders eliminated in the episode. One of them that Jeremy brings up saying they used to be a winner of the game and Buffa was able to take them out. So that's kind of interesting. I want to know who that guy is. So they turn to Jin and Karika and they beg for forgiveness, and Jin is willing to help, and Karika has a nice little moment with Jin in this episode where he's like, oh, I'm surprised you want to help out, because if this was the old you would have went on to the next rider that would have been your fan favorite, and then you would have started worshipping the ground they work on. Because Ace is eliminated, not only that, the people that were eliminated in the last game, people have kind of not forgotten about them, but they're sort of missing. Like, Kayla's sister has filed a police report because he's been missing for a week. Ace is a celebrity, so the media and the press are worried about him because he's been missing for a week. So these people are not, they're gone, but they're not forgotten. So that's an interesting note to show that they're still in people's minds. Just people don't know where they are, which they'll probably come back soon, judging by how this episode ended. So in this episode, we got a really cool fight scene between Jin and Glare 2 and Buffa, and I really enjoyed it. Like, there's this really cool fight scene in the episode where Jin uses his gravities. He gets behind Buffa, jumps on his back and blasts him square bang in the head, back in the head. Does nothing. Buffa tanks the attack and he's able to eliminate Jin, and that was a really cool moment because that shows how strong Buffa is in this episode. That shows Buffa's determination to eliminate all riders, and seeing how Buffa's goal is to eliminate all riders, that means he's going to be the victor no matter what, because that's his goal. Like, I wonder if even Ace can defeat him with his brand new power. You do get a comedic fight scene with him and Glare too, where he does the breakdancing on the floor. Once again, they bring back that worm, which went kind of viral outside of Toku Twitter, where people were posting it, which was kind of funny to see when that episode first aired like months ago, which was cool to see to bring it back. And then Buffa is about to eliminate him, and then suddenly Ace is returned as Samori was like talking to the Geats ID core, the Ace ID core, the Fox ID core, and Ace is suddenly revived, which I'm sure I knew was coming. It's called Kamen Rider Geats. He's got to come back sooner or later. Second, I saw like the next episode preview when I opened up Instagram, like that was the first thing I saw, and I saw Ace coming back. I was like, oh cool, that was spoiled for me, whatever. But yeah, so Ace is back now. It's interesting that he's back, because if you remember, one of Ace's rules, if I remember correctly, is he can participate in any Grand Desire pre-game. He'll come back or be reincarnated. 2, not only that, his mother is the goddess of desire, so she must have something to do with this. But then at the end of the episode, they hint that Samori's powers of the goddess of desire is awakening or something like that, or Samori and Mitsune might be the same person or something like that. Maybe Samori's a reincarnation of Mitsumi, I'm not really sure. Mitsumi, however you pronounce it. So there's that. Now, Ace coming back, I'm curious to see what's going to happen moving forward here, because it looks like the Kamen Rider culling, or the Kamen Rider Battle Royale is going to commence, where it's every rider for itself, as Buffa is going to get involved and start eliminating people left, right, center. But not only that, we're also going to see a brand new rider next week, which is going to be someone we saw in this episode, if you don't want to get spoiled. So that's going to be interesting. Now, I am curious to see when Keiwa comes back. It's probably in the next episode preview. It flies by so quickly I didn't have time to do a breakdown. But yeah, this episode was quite the interesting one. I'm sure some people are probably going to be upset that Ace is back so quickly, but like I said, it's Kamen Rider Geats and not Kamen Rider Buffa and whatever. But at least they held it off until the end of the episode, because you didn't get an opening with this episode. It just had the credits overlaid, and then when Ace came back, it played the opening theme. So I'm curious to see where the show is going to go moving forward now that Ace is back, but not only that, we're in the final arc, so I'm very curious to see what's going to happen moving forward in this show. But anyway guys, what did you think of Kamen Rider Geats episode 33? Love it? Hate it? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye.